Stop the scrolling. Stop the multitasking. Put the other thing down. If you are around people right now, this is not for them. This is for you alone. And I need you to be fully here before I say the next sentence. This day was circled on a calendar before you were born. Not metaphorically. Actually, there is a date written across your life that marks the hour you would finally sit still long enough to hear the sentence, God has been saving for you. That date is this one. The calendar in your pocket says something different, but the calendar in heaven is the one that is speaking tonight. You have walked past so many good days thinking the big one was still ahead. And you were right. It was ahead. But it is no longer ahead. It is here. And the reason it is here on this specific night is because your soul finally reached the level of stillness it needed to receive what has been waiting. God said, tomorrow is already too late. That is not a threat. That is a gift. Because for too long you have been protected from a now you were not yet ready for. And tonight, the protection is being lifted. The readiness is complete. So breathe, settle, let go of the rush, and let me walk you through what is being released over your life before this message ends. For those whose spirit already pulls at this moment, everything I share is given freely. In the description and the pinned comment, there is a link for when it is time. Do not click until you feel led. Heaven did not place this message in front of you as an accident. You were not scrolling and happened to land here. You were being routed. Every delay that almost closed this tab, every distraction that almost pulled you away, was noticed. And something stronger kept moving you back until you settled here. Before I walk you any further, let me tell you what you are about to receive. By the end of this message, 3 things will be true that are not true right now. The first is that you will understand, clearly and completely, why the words tomorrow is too late carry the weight they carry, and why heaven speaks urgency in a language that is different from the language of the world. You will walk out of this knowing Kairos in a way most people never learn. The second is that you will carry a specific tool, a named 90-second practice you can use anytime a divine pull rises in you and your body wants to override it. A framework that you can use for the rest of your life, not just tonight. And the third is that before this message ends, we will do something together that is not a regular prayer. It will be an activation, a commissioning, a sacred declaration that speaks your yes over your life the way heaven has been waiting to hear it. If you stay, you will walk out of this message different. Not emotionally different, structurally different. Look around the room you are in right now. Whatever chair you are sitting in, whatever light is reaching you at this hour, that room has a doorway somewhere. It leads to another space. A hallway, maybe. Another room, and you have walked through that doorway 1,000 times without noticing the moment of the crossing. Tonight, I want you to notice something else. Because there is another doorway over your life. It has been standing open for longer than you know. You have walked past it, glanced at it, told yourself you would step through when the timing was right, and every single time, the door stayed open, patient, waiting. And there is something happening inside you right now, in the quietest layer of your spirit, that knows the threshold is here. 1 foot already leaning toward it. 1 foot still pressed into the ground where you have been standing. That split, that pull, that quiet tension between 2 versions of tomorrow is not confusion. It is the exact feeling of standing at a Kairos moment. God said, tomorrow is already too late. Let me show you what that actually means when it is stripped of urgency as a feeling and placed inside reality as a fact. There are 5 markers I need to walk you through. 5 ways heaven has been telling you, the now is now. and you probably recognized every one of them in the last 72 hours without being able to name what you were noticing. The first marker is what I call the restless nudge pattern. There is a specific decision that has been returning to your mind. Not once, not twice, over and over. You set it down, and it comes back. You distract yourself, and it waits, and then it returns the moment you are quiet. You have probably told yourself, you are overthinking it. You are not overthinking it. You are broadcasting to yourself in the only language a kairos moment can speak. That thought comes back because it is assigned to you. The reason it will not leave is because heaven is not willing to let you forget it. The second marker is the repeated message across sources that could not possibly be coordinated. A sermon you heard, a single verse that a friend sent you out of nowhere 2 days later, a song playing in a coffee shop with the same phrase woven into the chorus. 3 times, maybe 4, from people and places that do not know each other, the same word kept finding you. And you smiled and thought, that is a strange coincidence. It was not a coincidence. It was a choir. Heaven does not waste messages by sending them once. When something needs to land with full weight, the message is released across unrelated voices, and it converges at the one soul it was meant for. That soul is yours. That is only 2 of the 5. And the next 3 are the ones most people dismiss as accident. Right up to the hour, their lives change, and they realize they had the clues all along. If one of those first 2 just name something you have been living this week, type the words, I see it, in the comments below. Not for me, for you, so you have a timestamp. So, when you look back in 6 months, you have proof you were here when heaven spoke. Stay with me. The next 3 markers are the ones that carry the most weight. And before I show them to you, you need to understand why all 5 point to this exact hour, and why the word tomorrow in heaven is not the same tomorrow written on your calendar. The third marker is the imagery of doorways, thresholds, narrow openings that has been appearing in your dreams in the last 3 weeks. 1 or more of these has visited you. A door standing open that you could not cross. A narrow passage you had to squeeze through. A hallway that kept extending. Or, the strangest one, a dream where someone was already holding the door for you, waiting, and you could not quite step through. Dreams are the language the soul uses when the waking mind has been too loud to hear. And if your dreams have been mapping doors lately, your subconscious has already seen what your conscious self is still learning. Some of you have also been waking at hours that keep repeating. The hour of 5, the hour of 11. Those are not random. In Scripture, the number 5 carries the weight of grace, and the number 11 carries the weight of transition. If you have been waking at those hours with no explanation, heaven has been knocking on a schedule you did not write. The fourth marker is the opportunity, the name, the decision that has felt too specific to be coincidence. Something has crossed into your personal territory this month that did not belong to anyone else's calendar. A person reached out that you had not thought about in years. A door opened that was supposed to be closed. A specific number, a specific place, a specific phrase was dropped into your attention, and it touched something private that only God could have known. You almost dismissed it because it was too precise. Things this precise do not feel supernatural. They feel like inside information, and that is exactly what they are. Inside information, delivered to one soul, in advance of a moment that was always going to come. The fifth marker is the inner knowing that arrived without thinking. You were washing dishes, or driving, or folding laundry, and in the middle of an entirely ordinary moment, a clarity came. Not an idea, a knowing. It told you, in a single sentence, what needs to move. You did not reason it. It arrived. And the moment it landed, your first reaction was to push it away because it was too clear, too specific, too uncomfortable in its directness. That sudden clarity is the most direct form of guidance heaven uses. It does not come when you are searching for it. It comes when you have stopped searching long enough to be reached. The more of those 5 you just recognized, the clearer your assignment becomes. If all 5 of them named your last 3 weeks, type the words, "Now I see," in the comments below. Now let me answer the question sitting quietly behind everything I just said. Why did the sentence "tomorrow is already too late" carry the weight it carried when you heard it? Because you heard it in the wrong time category. The ancient Greeks had 2 completely different words for time. The first was chronos, clock time, sequential time, the time measured by watches, by calendars, by Mondays turning into Tuesdays. Chronos is the time that governs appointments and bills and meetings. It is the time your body operates in. The second word was kairos, and kairos was something else entirely. Kairos was the opportune moment, the right time, the window heaven opens that does not operate on chronos rules. In the Bible, when Jesus began his ministry, he did not say the time is full. He said the kairos is fulfilled. The right moment has arrived. When Paul wrote about the coming of Christ, he said, when the fullness of time came, that fullness was kairos, not chronos. And when Ecclesiastes tells us there is a time for every matter under heaven, the word being used is not chronos either. It is kairos, a specific assigned window for a specific assigned thing. Chronos says tomorrow is the next 24 hours. Kairos says tomorrow is whenever the window closes, and that is the tomorrow God was speaking about. You were waiting on time. Time was waiting on you. The reason your delay felt logical is because you were reasoning in chronos. You were saying, I need next month to be ready. Next year I will have more saved. Let me wait until the season settles. That reasoning is not wrong in chronos, but your assignment does not live in chronos. It lives in kairos. And kairos has a window that closes based on its own timing, not on your watch. This is why heaven speaks in urgency that does not match the calendar. This is why the sentence "tomorrow is already too late" is not a scare tactic. It is an accurate time report from a clock most people do not know exists. And there is one woman in Scripture who stood at the exact threshold you are standing at tonight. Her window was closing, her fear was louder than her courage. And the sentence she heard is the same sentence being spoken over your life right now. Her name was Esther, a young woman placed inside a palace she did not ask to be in, married to a king she did not choose, carrying a lineage that was about to be destroyed by a decree she had no political standing to reverse. Her cousin Mordecai sent her a message that cut straight through every reason she had prepared for her delay. He said, "Who knows whether you have come into the kingdom for such a time as this?" For such a time as this. That phrase, in its original weight, is kairos language. Not for such a moment on the calendar. For such a specific window, heaven has been preparing you for since before your name was given. Esther's first instinct was the same as yours has been. Wait, prepare more, make sure the timing is better. But she made a decision that collapsed chronos, reasoning into kairos obedience. She said, "If I perish, I perish." That is not the voice of resignation. That is the voice of someone who has finally understood that kairos does not reschedule. And in that moment, heaven spoke a single sentence over her. The same sentence is being spoken over you right now. I did not place you here for the life you were avoiding. I placed you here for the moment you would stop avoiding it. Esther walked into a room she was not supposed to enter. She survived. But that is not the miracle. The miracle is that an entire generation after her was alive because she stepped through the door in Kairos time, not in Chronos time. Now I want to say something directly to the one listening who has spent years quietly apologizing for the delay, apologizing to yourself, apologizing to God, feeling behind. You have not been procrastinating in rebellion. You have been protected from a now that was not yet yours. Every year you thought you were wasting was a year something inside you was being built that could not be seen. The version of you that was called to step through this door did not yet exist. Heaven was not withholding. Heaven was constructing. What felt like delay was development. What felt like silence was strategy. And the reason it is ending now is not because heaven got impatient. It is because what was being built is finished. The vessel is ready. The season has closed its preparation window. And the door is still standing open because heaven will not release the moment until you reach the version of yourself that can receive it without breaking. Before I continue, gently press the like button, not for me. So this message can reach another chosen one, somewhere tonight, whose entire last decade was spent apologizing for a delay that was actually divine engineering. Let your like be the door opening for them. Now, this understanding of Kairos and Chronos is not just theology. It has a specific cost in the body. Your nervous system operates on Chronos. It runs on survival rhythms, on predictability, on the pattern of yesterday being the best predictor of tomorrow. So, when a Kairos moment arrives, a moment that does not match Chronos expectations, your system reads it as a threat. That is why your now keeps becoming your soon. Your body is overriding your spirit. Every morning, the clarity you had the night before gets rewritten by survival state resistance. And you wake up wondering why the yes felt so clear last night and so impossible by breakfast. What, doctor? Lake discovered after decades of documenting something called the decline effect in modern adult brains is a specific audio tool built to recalibrate the nervous system out of that survival rhythm and into what he calls the gamma frequency. He named it the genius song. It uses something called brain entrainment, a process that has been measured on EEG in the labs of leading research institutions, to shift the nervous system from Chronos-bound survival into a state where Kairos clarity is no longer overridden by the body. I am not walking you through the full tool yet. We will do that later in this message. For now, know that if your spirit is already pulling at this, the link is in the description and the pinned comment. No pressure, no timeline, only a door you can walk through when the pull is real. Keep your hand open, because we are not done. What opens for you when you say yes to this Kairos moment is something very specific. Not abstract breakthrough, not generic blessing. 4 very specific openings. And the first one is hiding inside the very first marker I named at the beginning of this message, the restless nudge. Let me show you exactly what it has been pointing you toward. There are 4 specific openings that arrive after a true yes. I will name them quickly, because I want you to recognize which one is already starting to happen inside your life. The first opening is clarity about one next step. Not the whole roadmap, not the 5-year plan. Within 72 hours of a true yes, the fog around your immediate move lifts. You will know, without having to analyze it, what the single next thing is. It might be a conversation you have been circling. It might be stopping something you have been doing out of obligation. It becomes obvious. That clarity is the first gift of Kairos alignment. The second opening is the release of decision paralysis on the specific matter you have been rotating for months. That thought that steals 5 minutes from you every morning. That issue you keep picking up and putting back down. It stops circling. The reason it has been circling is because it was waiting for your yes to release it. Once the yes is spoken, the rotation ends. Either the decision arrives fully formed, or the need to decide falls away, because the thing you thought you had to choose was never yours to carry. The third opening is the reordering of relationships within 7 to 14 days. Some people will feel closer to you almost overnight. Others will quietly drift. You do not engineer this. It happens on its own. The frequency of your yes shifts the field around you, and the people whose lives are aligned with where you are going will move toward you, while the ones whose patterns require the old version of you will naturally pull back. This is not cruelty, it is correction. The fourth opening is the quietest and the most powerful. The internal knowing replaces the internal questioning as your dominant inner voice. For years, the loudest voice inside you has been the one asking. After a real yes, that voice goes still, not gone, quieter, and in its place, a steady knowing takes the seat. You stop needing to reconfirm every decision 3 times. You move with more economy. You spend less energy second-guessing. If your spirit just agreed to one of those 4, type the words, "I receive," in the comments below, not as a wish, as an anchor. Now let me give you the specific tool I promised at the beginning of this message. I call it the 90-second yes. Here is the premise. Neuroscience has been able to measure something very precisely. When a stress response rises inside your body, the actual neurochemical storm lasts about 90 seconds. If the response is still running, it is because your mind has been rehearsing the trigger, not because your body is still reacting. 90 seconds is the true duration of resistance, which means when a kairos pull rises in you and your body wants to override it, you have about 90 seconds before your survival state takes the wheel back. Act inside that window, and you slip past the override, and the yes becomes soon, and soon becomes someday. The tool has 3 steps. The first step takes about 10 seconds. Name the pull, out loud if you can. In your mind, if you are somewhere, you cannot speak. I feel the pull toward, and finish the sentence with something very specific, not vague. The pull toward calling her, the pull toward saying no, the pull toward starting. Specificity is what keeps the nervous system from hiding it from you. The second step takes about 15 seconds. Strip the condition. Listen for every version of when I am ready, as soon as I, and once I have. Cut them out of the sentence. The condition was the delay mechanism. The third step uses the remaining 65 seconds. Execute the smallest visible action, not the big step, not the final step. The smallest visible thing that moves the pull from thought into something real. Open the text thread, write 1 sentence, make the call. The smallest action your body cannot argue with because it is too small to refuse. Use this only when a real kairos pull rises, not for every passing impulse. You will know the difference. The kairos pull returns, the impulse passes. 1 honest use of this tool a week changes a life in a year. What I am about to walk you through in the next few minutes is the specific mechanism that turns the 90-second yes from a cognitive trick into a nervous system reality. Stay with me. This is not the usual product pitch. This is the piece you have been missing. Let me say plainly what has been happening for the last 30 minutes, so nothing gets lost. The reason I am about to introduce a specific tool is because everything we just discussed, the 5 markers, the 90-second yes, all of it depends on a nervous system that can actually receive the now without rejecting it. What I am about to share is not theology and not speculation. It is a brainwave-based audio tool that was built by a neuroscientist specifically for people whose nervous systems have been stuck in the wrong frequency for years. And this is for the chosen one who has already tried meditation, tried prayer, tried journaling, tried deep breathing, and still finds the yes collapsing by morning. Remember earlier when I mentioned Dr. Lake's discovery and a tool called the Genius Song? Now it is time to walk through exactly what it does and why it is the missing piece for everything we just named. Before I tell you what the tool is, let me tell you who you are in this moment. You were always the one who hears when others dismiss. Long before you had language for it, you felt the pull toward more. You caught guidance in places other people called coincidence. But your nervous system has been trained, by years of Chronos survival, to override your hearing. That override is not a character flaw. It is a wiring pattern. And wiring patterns can be corrected. I want to tell you about a woman who wrote to me last month. She said for 3 years she had been carrying a specific conversation she needed to have with her adult daughter, and every morning for 3 years she talked herself out of it. She tried the 90-second yes on her own, and it kept collapsing by afternoon. She used the tool I am about to describe for 7 mornings in a row. On the 8th morning, the conversation happened. She did not plan it. She said her body just felt steady for the first time in years, and the words came out before her fear could rewrite them. She is still working on what comes after. But she told me, after 3 years of delay, the 8th day arrived like a gift. Decades of neuroscience research mapped something called the gamma frequency, a specific state of brain activity measured on EEG in the labs of leading research institutions, including MIT and Princeton. When gamma is active, decision-making, pattern recognition, and spiritual receptivity all operate at a different level.